So it's all erupting at Liverpool Football Club. They were 2-0 up against Leeds. They bottled that lead. It was 2-2, but they thought they won it. 3-2. Great work from Szoboszlai and Ekitike, who were fantastic today. But very late on, Leeds equalise. And that's another game that Liverpool have failed to win under Arne Slot. The pressure is on. Salah benched. Salah not getting on. And Salah is not happy. Salah has called out Arne Slot. He said some big things. This came out about half an hour ago, but I wanted to wait to just double check that it was real. I mean, I can't prove it's real myself because I can't speak Arabic, but I was just waiting for big accounts like Romano to then put out this information. But the Salah interview is legit. And that means Slot has lost the dressing room. That means Slot has lost Mohamed Salah. And if Slot has lost the dressing room, you might as well sack him because there's no way back. And look, players shouldn't turn on the manager. Players shouldn't do interviews against the manager. But I do understand some of what Salah is saying. And I think it says a lot about what's going on at Liverpool. I said a couple of videos ago, I think Slot has lost the dressing room. And if Slot has lost the dressing room, he is done. He has lost the dressing room. Let's get in to what Mohamed Salah has had to say. I'll get the full quote up actually. But, you know, he said things like, I'm very disappointed. I've done so much for this club and I feel like I've been thrown under the bus. He said, it's not acceptable for me. I don't know why this is happening. I don't get it. I have done so much for this club. I don't have to go every day fighting for my position because I've earned it. I'm not bigger than anyone, is what he said. The full quote is believed to have said this. I can't believe it. I'm very disappointed. I've done so much for this club. Everyone can see that over the years, especially last season. To be on the bench, I don't know why. I feel the club is throwing me under the bus. That's how I feel. He feels like he's been thrown under the bus. I said many times before that I have a good relationship with the manager. Suddenly, we don't have a relationship. I don't know why. If this is legit, which apparently it is, and he said suddenly, we don't have a relationship, I don't know why. He's saying the dressing room is gone. That's not me saying in a video, I think the dressing room is gone. That is your biggest player, your biggest name saying the dressing room is gone. He doesn't have a relationship with the manager. Because if Salah does not have a relationship with the manager, his influence in the dressing room is big. I thought Liverpool tried to come back into that game and stuff, and it was mistakes that cost them. But the manager's lost the dressing room. I think Arne Slot will be sacked tomorrow because I think Liverpool, naturally, and I'm, you know, as a Man United fan, I always say back the manager over players. I think player power is bad, but naturally, when you look at what Salah's done at the club and what Slot's done at the club, I think Liverpool are naturally going to say, you know what? I know Salah's old. I know he's on this big contract. I know Salah hasn't been good enough this season, but if Slot's fallen out with Salah and Slot's lost the dressing room, they either get rid of Salah in the January window, which will cause outrage to Liverpool fans, or they get rid of Slot. And I think it's easier for them to get rid of Slot. And I think they will get rid of Slot. Because for him to come out and say, I don't have a relationship with the manager, is mad. Now, before I get into the full quote, I just want to give my general opinion. Salah was poor, and Salah's been poor this season, but he's not the only Liverpool player that's been poor this season. I think Salah should have been dropped for Chiesa. You know, I do. But we saw in the Sunderland game, when Salah was dropped a second time, actually, dropping Salah hasn't achieved much more. Salah was dropped because he was poor. Salah was rightly dropped. But now it's 3 games where he's been dropped. And for me, I understand why Slot did it. I don't care if you've earned your position over what you've done at the club all these years. If you're not performing at that point in time, you should be dropped. But Chiesa is performing and he doesn't start. My thing is, has Gakpo been better than Salah? Because Gakpo is a player that very rarely gets dropped. You know, has he been better than Salah? So I think for Salah to be dropped 3 games in a row, I get why he feels scapegoated when I know Gakpo got a few goals and assists, but you could put Chiesa on the left and Salah on the right, and you could drop Gakpo. I think that Salah was rightly dropped, you know, in that game 3 games ago. I do. I think against West Ham, he'd been poor, make a point. But when you're not dropping Gakpo, who's been poor, when you're not dropping, I mean, I guess you can't drop Konate, to be honest, maybe Joe Gomez, but when you're not dropping other players that have been poor, and it's Salah that's dropped, Salah that's dropped, Salah that's dropped, and Salah's the guy that has done so much, I understand how Salah feels. Because it seems that it's just him getting dropped and just him being blamed. Man United fans have done it with Rashford We blame everything on Rashford. We blame everything on Ronaldo. We blame everything on David De Gea. Some of our fans blame everything on Bruno Fernandes. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, why is it the big player that gets all the blame when things go wrong, when they have a poor spell, when there's a lot going wrong at Liverpool? Yes, Salah hasn't been at his best. McAllister hasn't been at his best. Gakpo hasn't been at his best. Konate's been atrocious. Slot's tactics have been poor. I think that Mo Salah, I understand why he feels that way. He's done so much for this club. He's fallen out with the manager. The manager's not even giving a look in. He's saying, well, I brought Endo on, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, when he was dropped the first time, you're like, fair. But then he's been dropped 3 times, but Gakpo isn't getting dropped. And then I think, okay, I understand it. Would I do a public interview calling out the manager? No. Do I think that's professional from Salah? No. Do I understand how Salah feels? Yes. Do I think he should have done the interview? No. But Salah doing the interview, I think that is the end of Slot. It's not acceptable to me. To be honest, I don't know why it always happens to me. We throw Mo under the bus because he's the problem. I don't think I'm the problem. Mo Salah's fed up with being called the problem. Mo Salah has not showed up for Liverpool this season, particularly compared to last season. I set such a high standard last season that people expect more of Mo Salah than any other player in the Liverpool squad. So if Mo Salah isn't performing, he's going to get it more than anyone else because the expectations of him are so high. Like, it's not normal to have that many 20 goal plus seasons in the Premier League. So the expectations of Salah is ridiculously high. But we've seen it. It's not you drop Salah and you get better because you didn't beat Sunderland, you didn't beat Leeds, and you drop Salah. You scored 3 goals today without Salah. I thought that your attack did the job today, actually. It was defence that let you down. So you could argue in that sense, well, actually, to be fair, we scored 3 goals without Salah, is what you could say. But if you're going to keep playing Gakpo, and Gakpo's not doing great, Salah has a point. Salah is become the scapegoat, maybe. Maybe that's how he feels. Liverpool are poor not just because Salah's underperforming, but because they need a midfielder, because they need a centre-back, because Konate's bad. If I was to... You can't scapegoat one player at Liverpool. It's not Salah's fault, it's not McAllister's fault, it's not Slot's fault, it's not Konate's fault that you've been bad. It's a collective of things. Salah hasn't hit the levels. McAllister hasn't hit the levels. Your defence is shaky. Your midfield's been run through. The tactical setup of Slot is poor. The mentality at Liverpool reeks. The mentality at Liverpool is so fragile. It's so weak that you can be 2-0 up and still not win that game. You can score 3 goals away from home and still not win that game. You're defensively fragile. You have a weak mentality to let Leeds back in the game. There is a weak mentality at Liverpool. They're fragile. They collapse easy. When things are going great for Liverpool, things are going great. But the minute things go wrong, you can't turn that around. And some of that is on Slot. Some of that is on a lack of leadership from Van Dijk. Some of that is on other players. Salah also said, I called my mother yesterday. You didn't know I wasn't going to start today. I knew that. I said, come to the Brighton game. It doesn't matter if I play or not. I'm going to enjoy it. We'll see what happens in my mind. I'm going to enjoy it anyway because I know what's going to happen anyway. This game will be at Anfield, so that will be my goodbye before I go to AFCON. Salah is basically suggesting he might be dropped next game versus Brighton. Then he goes to AFCON. That could be his goodbye because there's rumours of Saudi wanting him in January. That Salah might have played his last game for Liverpool. You never know. I don't think that is the case. But I think the Salah interview confirms what I was saying after the PSV game, that there's something really wrong with those Liverpool players. Slot's tactics are bad, but when you look at the way Liverpool were, you could tell that they weren't happy with the manager. I said it in the PSV match reaction. You could tell the dressing room was lost. The dressing room's unsettled. It's now been exposed. I wonder how the club reacts to that. I'm intrigued to know your guys' thoughts. Are you annoyed at Salah as a professional? Should he be saying that? Should he be unsettling the club even more by doing that interview? Or are you saying, you know what? Salah's been here 8 years. Look what he did last season. Look what he's done for the club. Yes, Arne Slot won the league, but Salah has more credit in the bank than Arne Slot. He does. I don't agree with picking a player over a manager and a player speaking out against the manager and all backing the player, especially when the player's been underperforming this season. But Salah does have more credit in the bank than Arne Slot. And I think Salah's been bad this season, but has he been bad enough to justify giving him 45 minutes across the last 3 games when 2 of those games you dropped points in? I don't know. I think he should have been dropped. I understand why Slot dropped Salah, but he's not dropping Gakpo. And then that's when you look at it. And you're not playing Chiesa, so you're not even dropping him and rewarding Chiesa, who should be playing more games. You know? Arne Slot said he didn't bring on Salah because they were 2-0 up. He thought it'd be time to bring on Endo, which, fair enough. But other players aren't being dropped. And I can understand Salah's frustration. I really can. Now, I saw this quote on Twitter from Salah. So Salah reiterated that he felt he is not being treated correctly at Liverpool. So Salah is saying he feels he's not being treated correctly, and he's also said he doesn't have a relationship with the manager. So either Slot is sacked tomorrow or Salah's gone in January. Slot is sacked tomorrow, Salah's gone in January. He said, I have been at this club scoring more than anyone in this generation. Since I came to the Premier League, I don't think anyone has scored more goals and made more assists than me in the whole Premier League. I remember a while ago, Harry Kane was not scoring for 10 games, and everyone was in the media was like, "Oh, Harry will score for sure." When it comes to Mo, everyone was like, "He needs to be on the bench." I am sorry, Harry. He feels, and I don't think this is just a Slot, but he feels that he's been scapegoated. When he's not performing, he deserves the bench, but no one else does. You know, he had a good relationship with Slot. Suddenly, we don't have a relationship anymore. He's saying, "I don't know why. I feel scapegoated." It is Salah versus Slot, and I think Salah has more credit in the bank. Um, you know, I I'm not bigger than anyone, but I'll complain publicly. I get why people aren't happy with that Salah interview. I wouldn't do it if I was a professional player. I think it causes more problems at Liverpool because it now gives Liverpool a decision to make. Do we go with Salah? Do we go with Slot? Salah has every right to feel the way he feels. I don't think he should have done the interview. But that is I think Slot is gone or Salah's gone in January. There's more and more bits of his interview coming out where Salah's said, I got a lot of promises in the summer, and so far I'm on the bench for 3 games, so I can't say they've kept those promises. I said many times before I had a good relationship with the manager, and all of a sudden we don't have a relationship. I don't know why. It seems to me, how I see it, that someone doesn't want me in the club. He's suggesting that Slot doesn't want him in the club. Maybe they're trying to sell him in January. I will be at Anfield to say goodbye to the fans before I go to AFCON. I don't know what's going to happen when I'm there. After what I've done for the club, it really hurts. And apparently, according to Ben Jacobs, Saudi dealmakers remain alert. So it's either they're kicking Salah out and letting him go to Saudi in January, and he's saying his goodbye at Anfield and won't play for Liverpool again, or Slot's going to be sacked. Because Salah's saying, I'm going to say my goodbyes. I don't know what happened when I'm at AFCON. I have no relationship with the manager. It's almost like Salah's saying his relationship with the manager is done. It is finished. It's him or the manager. And I want to know Liverpool fans' thoughts down below. Are you team Salah? Are you team Arne Slot? Because one or the other is going to go. And I think the interview is so like, yeah, me and the manager have a relationship. Yeah, I might be saying bye to the fans. I don't know what's going to happen at AFCON. I don't know what's happened with the manager. I feel he's scapegoated. It's like he's basically said the dressing room is gone. His relationship with the manager is gone. I mean, that's a fiery interview. That is one fiery interview. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.